Okay, good morning everybody on this webinar. Today is Tuesday, and today we're having a webinar we've never had before. It's an Energy Light Rejuvenation Practitioner panel, and this is Dr. Darren Starwin from Phoenix, Arizona. We're all just talking among ourselves and the panelists about how gorgeous the weather is all over the United States, and we're talking about rejuvenating ourselves from the inside out using Energy Light Rejuvenation. And those of you who are on the webinar, you can see the screen, and it lists the people who are on with me here. And I'm really honored to have all these terrific practitioners taking some of their time to share what they do and the results they get, and some things that I just spoke to, for instance, one of them, Jane Mann, yesterday, and she told me something she's doing that I learned from. So I'm always learning from the people doing this type of work. So the format of today's webinar is going to be that I'm just going to start out with about a 15-minute introduction, some slides about what Energy Light Rejuvenation is. I know that there's some people on who are here on for the first time that haven't heard about this before. And then we're going to get right into just questioning our panel and having a lively discussion about a lot of topics about how Energy Light works, how they get the best results, some of the particular tricks of the trade they do. So anyway, I'm going to start out here with a few things to get us going. So let's just talk about, this is really a business opportunity as well as a really fun and rewarding type of thing to do with your clients. And just let's cut right to the chase. How do you make money with this? There's really three ways to increase your income in the business world, in this type of business at least. One of them is to attract more new clients. Now, do something that's new and exciting, that gets a buzz going in your community, that makes people want to tell their friends and family and bring in new people that have not seen you before. That's one obvious way to get more income. A second way is people that have already been your clients in the past, get them excited again, get them more reinterested or reinvigorated to want to come back to you. And again, one of the best ways to do that is offer something new and promote it. Really put it out there and have some open houses, some newsletters, lectures, different things that really get people's attention again. Because it's often said it's way easier to market to people that already know you than to try to get brand new people. And then the third thing would be add new services that you're not already doing to your practice so that you have new streams of income you didn't already have, or raise your rates. And all three of these are things that are very well facilitated by what we're teaching you today. There's a fourth way called winning the lottery or getting an inheritance, but we're not going to be talking about that today because I can't really help you with it very much. Now, what is Energy Light Rejuvenation? It's a form of facial and whole body rejuvenation that combines several different forms of energy application to have a overall boosting effect. In other words, each one of them boosts each other's effects. We have the frequency-specific microcurrent, different frequencies of microcurrent being passed through points on the face and body. And then we're using color light therapy, and we use 12 different colors as needed. And then special skincare products that work with those that are specially formulated to work with energy. And there is a lot of, I'm trying to keep this part very brief so we can get into our panel, so I'm just going to only put a few slides up for those people who are new, but there is some really good science behind ELR. This is just one of many studies we've seen. There's studies I've seen from France about how acupuncture and microcurrent increases collagen levels. There's quite a few things like that out there. There's other ones that show how regeneration happens. But this is one that's very easy to look at. In other words, 10% increase in collagen thickness through the application of microcurrent to skin, increase in the number of blood vessels, increase in the number of elastin fibers. These are some of the things you can actually measure that go on in the body when microcurrent is applied. One thing that's important to understand that differentiates Energy Light Rejuvenation from a lot of other rejuvenation systems is the fact that we are focusing on acupuncture points on the face. We're not just bathing the entire face in energy, which is the way most systems are. There'll be a big panel of LEDs or lasers, let's say, and the person's whole face is given light at one time. Now, that actually has a lot of value. I think that's something that could be a good adjunct to what we're teaching. But it doesn't have the specificity. When you treat through specific points, the body's communication systems are turned on, and there's a whole lot of great effects that happen in terms of the ricochet between the internal organs, the glands, the hormones, the meridians throughout the entire body are actually affected by stimulating the face on the points when you're using color and microcurrent. So these acupuncture points really do have these whole body effects, and later on I'm going to really ask the panelists when we get to that to share any ways that they have noticed those whole body effects, because we hear about those a lot. And now, speaking on the same subject, I think most of you know the term microsystem. That would be a part of the body that has a map of the entire body in it. So you can either diagnose or treat through these microsystems. There's foot reflexology. But one of the greatest microsystems that a lot of people don't think about is the microsystem of the face. And you can see on this diagram here that there's sections of the face that correspond to each of the internal organs. So the way this affects facial rejuvenation is that if you see people have what they call their problem areas, where they tend to have the most sagginess or bagginess or folds or discoloration or lesions, and those areas would generally correspond to the weak organs in their body, or the ones that have some kind of toxicity or imbalance. So when people have really dark circles under their eyes and a lot of, let's say, bagginess there, that usually shows a weakness of the kidneys. And when people have discoloration right here underneath the inside of the eyebrows, it's usually something to do with the spleen and pancreas. Or horizontal lines on the forehead usually shows some, like maybe too much fluids in the intestine. So these are something we use a lot in ELR in terms of how we focus the treatment, how we choose the colors. So let's take a look at some before and after pictures. This is what everyone wants to see. You just show me the beef. But this is not. Anyway, so you can see, like, here's not only women get this. Here's an example of the man who got this treatment. You see this man had a very strong crow's feet that are now hard to see. His whole skin coloration looks better, more lifted. These wrinkles here are
really tough client. He was in his 60s and he's a professional gambler.
Oh, really?
So every day he's in the casinos with that smoke.
Really?
And he came and he said, well, show me what you can do. I literally had to take a picture before and after every single time he came because he wanted to see how he was holding it. And but he did it really consistently. And I don't know if you'll show the front view, but he almost looked like a different person from the beginning. His skin was real crepey and very dehydrated. And the microcurrent and the light rejuvenation completely just seemed to almost restore his whole life and color in his skin.
Yep.
This gal, she is, I want to say she's 62, and she had a facelift at 48. She keeps a really good lifestyle. She just was looking for something new, and you can tell in her before picture she's very lymphy, and you don't see it in that before picture, but she had a really deep crease under her bottom lip, and really that was kind of her North Star, so to speak. I would have looked at her neck and her eyes, but we were able to pretty much really wrap that up, and that was that picture wasn't her final because she's still coming. But that was probably like a month into it, maybe a little bit more, 6 weeks.
What's really dramatic about the front of her neck, how different it looks.
And again, we spoke yesterday a little bit. I'm a really big advocate on lymph, and I feel that so many people just don't get the exercise, and they aren't even if they think they're eating properly, they probably aren't. And I address that maybe the first 3 or 4 sessions. I really focus on just getting the body rejuvenated that way, and then I kind of go towards more of a lift.
Yeah, well, this is a really great one here. This comes from a woman from Texas who sent it to me. I'm not sure if she's on the call or not, but again, you can just see it's similar to that gentleman we saw in the beginning. You can just see her facial coloration is so much better and more youthful looking. This is so pasty and really lifeless. And of course, the sagginess is greatly reduced. It just looks so much better. So this is about 12 treatments here to get this result. And so anyway, there's a lot more of those, but we're just going to move through these kind of quickly. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of what we're doing with energy light rejuvenation and other aspects of microlight therapy is the use of color. And these are the 12 colors that have been highly researched by Dinshad Ghadiali and many, many researchers and doctors since he did his work. And here's some examples of using colors for skin conditions. Green is probably the superstar MVP of all the color world when it comes to ELR, because green is something that tonifies and balances and invigorates muscles. So it really tends to have the best one for reducing facial wrinkles. It also just has a lot of the effects of toning the muscle. And then a lot of these cooler colors like turquoise, indigo, and blue is when you have red inflamed skin or newer type of acne. But then older acne, which is called cystic acne, where there's some scarring, we would tend to use colors like red. And yellow is used for age spots and lymph drainage. Marion, do you have anything you want to, I know that you've really gone deeply into the use of color. Anything you want to say about like what your favorite colors are for rejuvenation or how you select them?
Oh yeah, yellow is awesome. I love yellow for age spots, hyperpigmentation. It's just amazing what the skin looks like. The whole tone is just it's all calmed down, and brown spots are reduced. So I love the color yellow because, living in Georgia, we have a lot of sun damage here. So basically, I will just, really do, especially for lymph around the eyes. It's just wonderful. Yellow it just does wonders.
I've had a lot of success with using yellow for sinus congestion with clients. They'll come in, they can't breathe at all, and I'll just use the yellow, and it clears right then. So I've had great success. Orange does that too, especially if you treat lung points with orange. It's a good decongestant too.
Yeah. Jane, when you're doing your sinus treatments, are you using that with microcurrent also?
Yeah. And I'm also a big fan of yellow, but I'm excited to try orange now.
Well, today it's a good. I had somebody come in for the first time this morning, and she's. I looked at her skin, and it was more like, thin-skinned and a little bit more sensitive. And it was my first time working on her, so I didn't want to overstimulate her. I had to see how her skin worked up first. So I just used a yin color, a very cool. I actually used violet on her, and she was very calm and peaceful. I could see that her energy was a little, nerve-wracking, she was a little frazzled. But basically, I look at the skin, and I look at the type of skin. Coming from the medical background, we have skin types of, skin type 1 to through 6, and so I looked at her, and she was like a little bit more sensitive, so I didn't want to overstimulate her, so I kept it very calming for her.
Okay.
And so I chose violet today.
Yeah, that's very, very calming. Okay, good. Now, Dr. Teri, would you be willing to share some wisdom with us? These are, I know, one of our previous webinars we had this slide, and could you just try to keep it really brief, but just give me a few words of wisdom for each one of these things you see on your screen right now?
And when somebody asks me, well, what is this ELR? And you've only got a few seconds, as you say, your elevator speech. I just tell people we are a combination of microcurrent and color light therapy as applied to the face, for the purpose of rejuvenating the skin, lifting the tissues, and just making you feel great from the inside out. And then people will say, oh, well, how do you do it? And where can I get it? And that's how you build a business, by talking to people.
You should ride the elevator more often.
But, yeah, there aren't too many in Phoenix.
That's true. Okay.
We don't have many tall buildings.
All right.
But you can apply that to waiting online in the grocery store or anything else. As far as what people can expect, I generally tell people, anywhere from 10 to 20 sessions will do it, depending on the 3 biggies, and that is age, skin condition, and lifestyle. Those are the 3 big factors in my mind that really affect expectations and how many sessions you're going to need. I do tell people after 1 session, they will see something, they will see a difference, because people want immediate gratification. If we want them to return again and again and again, they need to see something and experience something from the very first session. And I think, most of us who are doing that out there, we get that. We get a response, we get a lift, we get a ooh, ah, that type. And so you really want to generate that excitement. So what will you expect is firmer skin, a more youthful appearance. Some people describe it as a whole change in attitude. You'll be happier. I know that. People definitely leave here happier. And so expectations are going to vary, but to me a real key is what are they looking for when they come to see you? Do they want to raise their eyebrows? Do they want to get rid of their crow's feet? Do they want to get rid of their spouse? What is it? What do they want? And you need to find that out. You have to create that rapport from the start. What is it you're looking for? What's your concern? Because I may see something different when I look at a person. I may see, lip lines and saggy jowls, and she's just focused, or he's just focused on the crow's feet and the eyes. So clear communication, very, very important right from the start to set up, so you don't set up false expectations. And
that's what I do, Teri.
Welcome to yeah.
That's what I do first. I always ask them, what's bothering you? What's your trouble spots? Mm-hmm. So when you're working, so you know what to zero in on and where to work more areas, so you get more better results. So that's the first question I ask them.
As Teri said, generally it's somewhere between 10 to 20 treatments to get the maximum of results. And people in better health and who are, say, in the relatively younger, like 40s and 50s, because 50 is really young, I see now. Generally, sometimes closer to the 10 treatments is usually enough, and then people more heavily wrinkled and with more stressful and, let's say, poor diets and things like that might need higher amounts. And then it's usually best to have at least 2 treatments a week for several weeks to get the neuromuscular re-education of the face going, and then you can taper off. And then just maintenance after that. We're going to talk later a little bit about fees and how much we charge. I'm not going to spend any time on that now. But anyway, just a few pictures. These are from the ELR manual. You can see that there's very detailed pictures that show you exactly how to stroke the probes and what colors to use and what frequency. Now, there's all this is made. It's just really made very, very simple and easy. These are just a few sample diagrams. So this is what's called cross-hatching, where you first move horizontally with the probes over certain areas of the face, and then you would go vertically. Then we have special strokes for the eyes and for the mouth, for the crow's feet. For each area of the face has special strokes that are explained. And as you can see, we are stimulating various acupuncture points as we go. And this is another use of what's called the entry-exit points on the face, which has a very strong whole body effect. And then the bar probes, also I call them lifting wands now, are great for lifting the neck and working on even areas like the thigh and the belly and the butts and other areas that need firming and tightening. And is there any of the panelists that want to just talk a little bit about the use of the bar probes, like how you use them in your treatments?
I would. I've had tremendous results using the bar probes. I love them. I see immediate results in lifting the chin when I work with clients.
Yeah.
But I also discovered that I use them on the hands and feet to help to ground the client. And that has been phenomenal. At the end of the ELR session, I'll put on some gel on the hands and feet, and I'll stroke the bar probes, and it pulls the energy from the top of the head down, and it's been fabulous to ground the client.
Wow, great.
So also I've used them on the abdomen, on thighs, and clients just come back into my office just giggling with joy. Just, oh my God, I can't believe how great this is. in reduction of the the fluid in the legs and belly. So it's been terrific. I love them.
Probes. Hi, Marion. I'll also hold the probes under the eyes when they're really puffy.
Yeah.
And I'll just hold them under the eyes, and I see a lot of great results from doing that also. And even circling the eyes with the bar probe.
Great.
Yeah, I do that too.
Mm-hmm.
First question for the panelists is, why do you offer energy light rejuvenation in your business, and how does it compare to other face rejuvenation methods that you have used in the past or that you continue to use now?
Well, the reason why, I'm Marion, the reason why I offer it because an alternative, a natural way, instead of a lot of the girls going through the surgeries and getting cut on and losing nerve damage on their faces. And I find that, being an esthetician, a lot of the girls, they're constantly doing all of these chemical peels and breaking down the skin instead of building up the skin. So I have a different philosophy that I like to build it up, and I'll use a lot of collagen gels underneath the skin when I'm doing current to build it up so it gets plump and the nasolabial folds fill in and their eyes look so much better. So it's a natural approach that, is an alternative, as we said before, to surgeries and all the harsh peels that all the girls are doing. And the more I see the girls doing those peels, I feel the worse their skin is getting. Their skin looks awful. So I do a current. They look lush. They look supple. Their skin looks good. It puts back into the skin. It's natural. They feel great. And what could be better than that?
Wonderful.
I'd have to really agree with Marion on what she said. You see a lot of people taking, it's almost like such a 90s approach with the peels and such. And when I found Microcurrent, it was probably 7 years ago, I just kind of took a path and started really learning it and probably went through 2 or 3 various machines. And then I was at a seminar in Scottsdale and heard the Accutron mentor, and it was one of these just nagging thoughts. My husband looked at me. He goes, "You need another microcurrent machine like you need, we need another dog. We're not going to invest in another one." And I just kept saying, no, I really believe in this, and I want to learn more about it. And I just feel that the more educated you are, which this company has phenomenal education and such an opportunity to ask for more resources through you, Dr. Starlin, but I really believe in it. And I get people that have gone to these other estheticians, and they have oversensitive, chronically inflamed skin. And, this is something that I can offer and immediately start to calm down and rebuild. And I call it to the kids, to the clients, kind of taking them back to ground zero. We have to neutralize everything before we can go, further. And so when I present it to a client or somebody comes to me and we've kind of discussed their needs, I present a very realistic approach, because sometimes they come, compared to other facial rejuvenation methods. I remember I emailed probably 2 months after I got my machine and said, hands down, this beats any machine I've ever used. And I've used a lot of different machines. So I love the acupuncture point method of rejuvenating from the inside out.
Wonderful.
Hey, it's Dr. Teri here. And for me, this was just a natural outgrowth. I've been using microcurrent for pain management for going on 27 years right now. And after many years of, treating all parts of the body for pain and, with the background in chiropractic and acupuncture, this was just something new and exciting to actually work on a different part of the body for me. And it just became an outgrowth of the work I was already doing. And I like to divide my time between, both worlds, the facial world and the pain management world.
Right here is, what would you estimate, what percentage of your clients would you say are happy and satisfied with this? I mean, this is a good business question, and for anybody who's considering doing this. In other words, let's say if you were to have 10 clients come in and get ELR, what would you guess? How many of them would go away feeling like they really got their money's worth and were happy with what they got?
10. This is Marion.
Do you say 10 out of 10?
Yeah. Everybody's happy. They look in the mirror and they're happy. I mean, they see their eyes, lines around their eyes are smooth. They look like a totally different person. And they feel great and relaxed. So I would say everybody's happy.
Okay.
Me.
Yeah. This is Jane. I would say I don't want to downplay it, but I would say between 8 and 9. And I don't know. I'll have it before and after pictures where I can see it, but sometimes they don't want to see it, and that just kind of happens.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of realistic reasons why some people aren't going to be happy with it. I mean, if they're heavy smokers, or some people have very negative attitudes that they can't really overcome, or whatever it is. But so I just want to know honestly what you're getting.
But I would have to say that it's a fantastic, stable income for me. I have clients that just come because I think they're addicted to it. I mean, they don't have to come anymore, but every week they come.
It's a mind lift too. It's very here. It's a psychology. It's people have called it a life lift, and what better way to get pampered? In body, mind, and spirit. So I would have to agree with you. I'm probably in the same range. 8 to 9 out of 10 are really, really happy. Some people, despite your best efforts, will never be happy, and we all know that. So we just give it our all, and I'd have to say that really high percentage of people, they think it's great.
Well, let's talk about income, money. Let's talk about money. So in other words, how has offering ELR affected your business and income based on, let's say, what it was before you offered it to what it's like now?
Well, this is Marion. The ELR, it's my bread and butter. And it sets me aside. It's different from everybody else as just another esthetician, working with the mind, body, and spirit. It has just been my income. When I have the girls after series, I sell series, and series after series after series. The minute the series ends, they write me another check for like $1,200, $1,500, like with nothing. So it is my bread and butter.
Wow, that's great. Anybody else want to take a shot at this one?
This is Jane. I'll just agree. It's absolutely set you apart.
This is Teri, and what I'd like to say to all you chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists out there, this is a phenomenal business opportunity in the fact that you can hire someone else to do this, and you can put your AccuChon to work for you, making a lot of money. Quick example, if you charge $100 for a session and you pay your practitioner, $30 or so an hour to do the treatments, the rest is pure profit. So from a business standpoint, if you don't want to do the treatments yourself, hire an esthetician or someone else, to do this. There, a lot of people out there looking for jobs now, and this is a great income-building opportunity if you already have a business going, you have a spare room that you want to put to good use, and have your machine work for you. So.
Lovely. Okay, let's. I have one. Okay, now this is another one. This is a kind of big open-ended question. Do you combine energy light rejuvenation with other either aesthetic or medical healing modalities? And if so, how do you do them? Like, how do you combine it with other things? So I know this could be, we could each talk for an hour about this. So just like what's at the top of your mind about this?
Well, hi, it's Marion. What I do is I do a complete facial when I do ELR. So I'll start with even a light enzyme peel, and I always do a microdermabrasion. And then after a microdermabrasion, then I'll do current and drive the products into the skin even deeper. And so I kind of like take that for me as an esthetician, I like to have the skin really clean, and so there's no dead cells on the surface. I like to take that off first, and then I do current, and these treatments are far more effective and have better results for me.
Great.
The this is Andrea, and what I do is I focus on stress reduction in addition to the ELR, so that when they come in, I'm addressing the body, mind, and spirit. And so I will use flower essences. I'll douse for flower essences to be used during the session, along with the working on their face. I do pranic healing, and so I do a lot of energy work in a different way, along with the microcurrent and the color, and I find it to be very, very satisfactory, and my clients walk out of my office feeling very balanced, very relaxed, and rejuvenated. So it's been wonderful.
It's Teri. I would just like to put in and say that for years of doing microcurrent without color, when the color came along, it adds just a whole total dimension. There's so much more that you can do. The results are so much better when you add the color light. Microcurrent in and of itself is fantastic, but when you add that dimension of the light, and especially hitting upon the right color for that person at the right moment in time, your results just go up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is I call it color hunger, is that the body-mind complex, we often are feeling like we are lacking the thoughts, the emotions, the glandular secretions, the hormones, all those things that are associated with each color. We often are blocking or not really taking that in, and so that creates what's called color hunger. And people will do the most amazing things to fulfill that. And it reminds me a lot of the old Indian teaching story where they say the muskox roams far and wide all over the world looking for this smell and trying to find it when it comes from its own navel. I mean, we have the colors all around us, but we're blocking them, so we look for them. And people do a lot of addictive behaviors and a lot of self-destructive things, or spend lots of money, or do all kinds of things that don't really satisfy it. And if you can just find what color they need and apply it to their body on the right points, people have remarkable effects. It's true. This is something I just wanted to show you. We already spoke about this a bit, but just if you only charge the minimum amount that people charge for face rejuvenation, you only do, say, a couple of clients a week, basically that would be, let's say, 2 clients, each coming in twice a week. Just that minimal use of it is $1,600 a month, and as you can see, it goes up from here. And most people who are doing this service are up in these higher numbers if you're just seeing 3 or 4 or 5 people a week. So it's a really great business opportunity, and it's something that is probably one of the best leverage uses of your time. But I want to thank everybody for coming on, especially our panelists. Thank you so much for taking your time to come on and share your experiences. And I'm really inspired by all of you ladies. I mean, you're just really pushing the edge. I mean, like Andrea, you're combining hypnotherapy and stress reduction with this, and Marion, you're using all these cutting-edge things from all over the world to increase the collagen, and I know Teri, he's using chiropractic and acupuncture, and a lot of the other things that you do. And I know that you're the doctor I go to whenever I have pain. And then Jane, I mean, you've taught me new things that I never knew. So this is very inspiring, just to know that I've been able to create a technology that people are just running off with and doing these incredible things with. So thank you so much. This is recorded, and so everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll be back with you next time. And I hope you'll think about coming to these seminars if you're not already booked in, because this is going to supercharge you to increase the success of your practice big time. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.